Good morning. Happy Easter. I want to begin with a question. It's not a hard question, and I think you all know the right answer. The question is, does Jesus love you? And the answer is yes. How much does he love you? Enough to give his life for you and for me on the cross. But let's turn that question around. This question might not be as easy to answer as my first question. My second question is, do you love Jesus? That's the question Jesus asked Simon in the gospel today. Simon, son of John, do you love me? And Jesus asked that question of Simon not just once, not twice, but 3 times. And remember, it was only a few days before this that Simon Peter had 3 times denied that he even knew Jesus. Remember that? Peter followed Jesus after his arrest to the house of the high priest where Jesus was put on trial. Peter was warming himself around a charcoal fire when a servant girl said to him, "You're one of his disciples, aren't you?" And he denied it. He denied that he even knew Jesus. In his hour of greatest need, when Jesus needed him most, his friend denied even knowing him. So here on the beach again, gathered around a charcoal fire, Jesus gives Simon Peter a second chance. And actually, he gives him 3 second chances to declare his love for him. And each time that Peter declares his love, Jesus asks him to do something, to feed his lambs and his sheep. That is, to care for others as Jesus cares for us. We have, all of us, in our own way, denied Jesus. Every time we sin, we deny Jesus and his love for us. But the Lord gives us a second chance too. He comes back and asks, "Do you love me?" And when we tell him we do, he will often ask something of us to show our love for him. Have you ever said, "I love you" to someone, and they responded, "Oh yeah, show me"? My wife tells me that all the time. So he might say to you, Joe, he might come and say, "Joe, do you love me?" "Lord, you know that I love you." Then take a few minutes every day to speak to me in prayer. "Kathy, do you love me?" "Lord, you know that I love you." Then try to be a little more patient with others, especially with those you love the most. "Steve, do you love me?" "Lord, you know that I love you." Then you need to be more fair and honest at work and in your business practice. "Sylvia, do you love me?" "Lord, you know that I love you." Then I need you to let go of your resentment and bitterness and work harder on forgiving that one person who has hurt you and annoys you so much. "Julie, do you love me?" "Lord, you know that I love you." Then open up your circle of friends and invite inside those you've excluded and judged. "Bill, do you love me?" "Lord, you know that I love you." Then put a filter on your computer and stay away from those sites that you wouldn't want others to know you're looking at. And Karen, do you love me? "Lord, you know that I love you." Then see if you can be more generous with your time and more generous with those in need. And what about you, Dave? Do you love me? "Lord, you know that I love you." Then get off your butt on the weekend and get to church and spend some time thanking me for all you have, asking me for what you need, and growing stronger in your faith. For those who have gotten comfortable watching Mass in your pajamas and slippers on the live stream and have no other excuse other than you've grown lazy, Jesus asks you, "Do you love me?" Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Then come back to me and to your family here at St. Paul, and come back to the table of the Eucharist. St. Paul, Tony, do you love me? Lord, you know everything. You know that we love you. Then I ask each of you, just like I asked Simon Peter long ago, follow me. Follow me by loving one another, by serving one another, and patterning your lives after mine. My brothers and sisters, for the next 4 Wednesdays, we will be meeting in the Maher Hall to learn how to be transformed more and more into the likeness of Christ, into one of his disciples. At 6:30 p.m., we have dinner. At 7, we have a short video from Professor Edward Sri from the Augustine Institute. This Wednesday's topic will be not perfect, but chosen. This program is really good, and I would love to see some new faces rather than the same ones who are always there. It's 90 minutes, and it's only once a week for the next 4 weeks, so come join us. Coming to Mass this morning and hearing today's gospel is like joining Jesus on the beach and having breakfast with him. Except this is not the Lord's breakfast. This is the Lord's Supper, and Jesus is the host.